Gudo. I'm a gamer and a cryptocurrency enthusiast. And in today's video, I'm doing a simple step-by-step of how a person with no background in cryptocurrency whatsoever can get involved in some of the cool play-to-earn games that are out there now. So this game is currently in beta. It's called Crabada. It is an idle game built on the Avalanche blockchain, where you buy teams of crabs, and your crabs go out on expeditions and can mine things and attack other players and earn you currency. The idea is that you sink money into this game, real money, to purchase the crabs, and then your crabs earn you money, which eventually means your gaming habit turns into a profitable enterprise. It's a cool idea. But for a lot of folks trying to get into play to earn, it's just impossible because if you don't have a background in cryptocurrency, there are a lot of steps. So let's start from the beginning. First, if you don't already have one, you'll need to open an account on a central exchange. If you are needing to translate money, fiat money, dollars, real money as we call it, although there's nothing particularly real about it. If you're wanting to change real money into cryptocurrency, there are a limited number of brokers that you can go to that will enable you to do that. You can't go to just anyone. The largest one in the United States is Coinbase. It's a fairly well-known name. Other big exchanges that a person might have heard of would be Binance, Crypto.com, FTX, Voyager. There are quite a few. You will need an account on one of these in order to turn your dollars into crypto. Most of these do have some sort of referral program, which I'll go ahead and link the information to in the comments. So go ahead and look below for links at the conclusion of the video. In order to create an account on Coinbase or any other central exchange, you will need to go through what's called a KYC or Know Your Customer procedure. Essentially, that means you'll have to scan your license and do a webcam picture and whatnot to verify that you're a real person and who you say you are. Once you've done that, you'll have an account where you can link your bank account and turn your US dollars into cryptocurrency. Which crypto we're going to want is going to depend on which game a person is interested in. You do need to choose the cryptocurrency for the blockchain native to your game in order to have a good basis for being able to buy our crabs in this instance or whatever other gaming implements we need. So because Crabada runs on the Avalanche blockchain, we're going to turn our dollars into Avalanche. The ticker for that is AVAX, and it is essentially what's called a layer 1 blockchain, which means this is a major kind of network that has a lot of different smaller applications that are built on it and other smaller tokens and currencies that run within that ecosystem. Um, so you'll set aside whatever amount of dollars you want to exchange on your Coinbase or other account into Avalanche, and that's totally based on your budget for how much you want your initial spend in your game to be. And once you've translated it into Avalanche, we'll be ready to withdraw that crypto to our wallet, except first you need a wallet. So in this instance, the kind of most popular, most user-friendly wallet out there that will work for our purposes is called Metamask. It's got a cute little fox logo, and it does have a browser extension for pretty much all major browsers. So after Googling MetaMask, go ahead and download the appropriate extension for your browser. You can never be too careful in the cryptocurrency space. There are a lot of scams and fakes, and some of them very sophisticated out there. So it's always a good idea to check that you really are where you think you are. Make sure you do have a secure web portal. In this case, this app isn't actually part of Mozilla, which is notifying me, but it does have 500,000 downloads, and I am able to verify this is the real MetaMask. So after adding the extension, I'll be prompted to go ahead and set up a wallet. This is going to be where we store the cryptocurrency that we're purchasing on the central exchange. If this is our first time setting up a wallet, we'll choose the create option, be prompted to set up a simple password to access our wallet from your computer. And then we'll have a not simple password, and this will be essentially a secret phrase. MetaMask does give you a simple explanation of what this does. Your secret phrase is a 12-word random phrase that is used to recover your account. It's pretty secure as far as like kind of hacking and that sort of thing goes. 12 different words in different sequences is a very difficult code to crack. So Metamask will give you your secret phrase. You should record this in multiple locations and store it somewhere safe on a physical object, something like a piece of paper. You can put this in your filing cabinet or safe or wherever you keep stuff safe. You can lose your MetaMask on your computer. You can delete your browser. You can remove the extension. You can do all that stuff, but you will always be able to recover it as long as you have your secret recovery phrase. On any device, any other computer, any other mobile phone, your funds are there waiting for you, whether you delete the wallet from your computer or not, as long as you can still access it via this phrase. That does, of course, also mean that if someone else gets a hold of your secret phrase, all of your funds are forfeit, so be extremely careful with this. So once we have completed setup of our MetaMask, it's going to take us to this screen. By default, MetaMask just kind of runs in a little browser window. You can pin the extension if you like. The first time it gives you a huge window, but that's not really necessary. So here's our new wallet. By default, you'll see it is connected to the Ethereum mainnet, and we see how much money I have in Ethereum, which right now is a big 0. Although Ethereum is the default network for MetaMask, it can connect to any other network as well. So if the game you're interested in is built on Binance Smart Chain or Avalanche in this instance, you can still connect to those using MetaMask. A lot of different environments have their own wallets that have special features related to the currencies that they work with, but MetaMask is pretty broadly compatible and easy to use, which is why we've selected it here. In this case, you're going to go ahead and add a network to your MetaMask. That information, as far as the exact name and whatnot, is available on Google. You just need to sort of look it up for Avalanche in this instance or for any other chain. We're going to put that information in our MetaMask. We'll only need to do this the one time, just for initial setup. So I'm going to put in the appropriate chain ID, symbol, Explorer, and RPC URLs. And now you see in my MetaMask, I have the option to switch between Ethereum and Avalanche networks. My wallet address is going to stay the same for receiving both of those tokens. They'll just need to be transmitted on different networks when withdrawing from the central exchange. My wallet address, regardless, is going to be right up here. This one's not a security threat the same way your secret phrase is. This is your public address that you can give to folks so that they can send you money. It's also what we'll use to copy over to the central exchange to use as our withdrawal address. So at this point, we'd need to withdraw an appropriate amount of money from our central exchange account over the Avalanche network. When withdrawing Avalanche, you may be given an option of chains to withdraw it over. We want to use C-chain if given a choice, or it may just say Avalanche network. Otherwise, C-chain is Avalanche's more robust smart contract compatible network. That's what we're going to need to use for all the cool features. So you'll send whatever amount of Avalanche you want to transfer over the C-chain to your MetaMask address. In this instance, I now have about 42% of an Avalanche in my wallet waiting for me. So we can go ahead and get set up with some crabs. Crabada isn't purchasable on a central exchange yet because the game is new and is in beta, and a lot of tokens that are smaller market cap are not actually purchasable through a central exchange. You need to go to a decentralized exchange, which is basically a swap shop, in order to get the token that we're looking for. In this case, we're going to use Pangolin, which is an Avalanche-based decentralized exchange. There are DEXs available for all the different networks, as there are different games and things to use. On Pangolin, I am able to swap an amount of my Avalanche into other types of tokens, in this instance, Crabada token or CRA. I'll have to choose the amount of Avalanche I want to transfer over. You should not, absolutely not, push the max button on here. You'll see why in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and transfer about 0.3 Avalanche here. My estimated output is 33 Crabada based on the exchange rate, which is about 111 Crabada per Avalanche. The first time I allow Pangolin to access my Crabada tokens, even if I don't have any yet, I will need to approve it to access them, so you'll have a sign prompt here. Rather than swap, there'll be one more acknowledgement required. When I am ready here, I'll go ahead and swap, and note that it does show me down here how much I'm paying the DEX to be able to swap this for me, and then the expected slippage amount, which means this exchange rate is going to be the exchange rate reflected in my trade with a margin of error of 0.01% or less. I confirm one more time with Pangolin that I want to swap, and I'll be prompted to accept the transaction in my MetaMask. Ultimately, this is what makes your money leave. For you to send something anywhere, you'll need to accept a transaction and acknowledge the amount of gas that you're going to be paying to transmit it. In this instance, my MetaMask prompts me that my gas fee is about 0.008 Avalanche, which is appropriate, so I'm going to go ahead and confirm. If there was an error with the transaction, like the item I was attempting to purchase was no longer available, you may see a gas fee that doesn't make any sense. Like my gas fee there could have been 4 Avalanche instead of like 0.00004 Avalanche, which would be an indication that there's a problem. Never accept a transaction that you're not familiar with, don't know why it's there, or don't recognize the amount involved. It's really important that you're only navigating to secure sites and being extremely careful anytime your wallet is accessed. Each network has its own transaction logs because blockchain is fundamentally a public, transparent protocol. So on here, I and anyone else in the world can see this transaction hash, what block it took place on, and ultimately what happened. Pangolin routed my Avalanche into Crabada and restored it to my wallet address. So depending on where you're standing, this is either really cool or really scary, but all the information from that transaction is part of the public record now. When I return to my wallet, I will have much fewer Avalanche and hopefully much more Crabada. The first time I access these tokens, they won't be in my wallet. You'll need to push import tokens down at the bottom and use the actual contract address for the token involved to put the token in. Essentially, that's just because there are too many small coins for MetaMask to keep track of all of them. So even though the money is there, your wallet may not recognize the token and be able to tell you the purpose of it, essentially. By pasting in the token contract address, my MetaMask will notify me, hey, this is Crabada, and allow me to add the custom token. In this instance, it's already added to my wallet, so it's not allowing me to do that. Now that we've acquired our Crabada and our Avalanche, what should we do with it? We have a few choices, actually, and this really depends on what stage of development your game is in. Crabada is in beta, so there are some things that I can do. I can actually go to their marketplace, and potentially I could purchase some crabs with my Crabada tokens. Um, in order to do that, I'll need to connect my wallet to the website. You'll see that on a lot of different websites that are crypto related. In order to be able to access content, you need to first sign in using your wallet. This is fine. You'll notice on here that there is no gas fee. There's no transaction taking place. This is just a signature, which is perfectly fine. And then you'll notice that your wallet address has been connected to the website. Now I can't actually purchase any of these since they have far greater cost than the amount of Crabada that I've loaded in my wallet. So in the meantime, what can I do with my tokens? I want them to work for me. I spent money on them. I want them to earn money for me, but I'm not ready yet to drop the 1100 a crab to get myself a team of them. So in the meantime, I can do what's called farming or liquidity farming, or there's a variety of different phrases for it. You'll see staking as an option for some tokens straight through the central exchange or in your wallet, which is a way to earn a very low APR return on them just for allowing the protocol to use your tokens to help validate other transactions. You can research further if you're interested into what staking actually does in a proof of stake ecosystem, but that is a way to get like 5% return on your tokens, which is better than nothing, but honestly really poor in the crypto space. A lot of different options are available to get returns depending on your risk tolerance of a minimum of 100% APR with almost no risk whatsoever. And upsides up to like 100,000% APR are possible for any Wonderland Magic money fans out there. In this instance, our goals are not that high, but I do want my Crabada to do something for me, so let's farm with them. If you notice on Pangolin, there are some farms available with different types of tokens. All of these are in pairs, and that is how that's going to work. In order to be able to farm with our token, we'll need to pair it with another token and create what is called a liquidity pair, and then I'll be able to use those LP tokens to actually farm. I do have a little bit in this farm already, so you'll see on here total stake. That's not from me, that's from everyone. And then approximate returns on here. So this pool is earning about 114% APR in PNG, which are Pangolin tokens. Those are worth about $1 a piece, and I can swap them out in the same shop for Avalanche, Crabada, or any other kind of token that I want to. Um, in order to make these liquidity pairs, I'll go to the pool option on Pangolin. It's going to take a moment and then show me, hopefully, any pairs that I have liquidity in currently. And I do. I have some liquidity in the Crabada Avalanche pair, which it is taking its good sweet time in pulling up for me. Finally, we've made it, and now on your screen you will likely have a prompt to approve the pool for use of your tokens instead of entering an amount here. That is fine. Again, you'll need to pay a nominal amount of gas for the first time you allow the exchange to do more or less anything with your wallet. In this instance, I'm going to create a liquidity pair between these two. One thing about an LP pair is that they must be in equal proportion. The way the pair works is it actually maintains an equal proportion of value as the tokens increase and decrease in price. In this instance, it looks like my bottleneck is actually going to be my Avalanche, so I can only add a little bit to my Crabada to form the LP pair that we want here. After accepting the gas fee associated with this transaction, I'll be able to see my liquidity pairs right in my wallet. So from here, I can go to this farm that has the tokens that I'm interested in and approve it the first time, as we will have to with basically everything, and then we'll have the opportunity to deposit as many of these liquidity pairs as I would like. In exchange, I'll earn passive income just kind of by itself. Your rewards for most farms don't actually pull themselves, so it's not continuous compounding. You'll have to manually compound it, so depending on how great the gas fee is in exchange for the amount that I'm pulling out, I'll wait an amount of time before trying to manually compound some of my earnings, since you do pay gas fees each time that you withdraw and add to your pool. So now we have a wallet set up. We can pull whatever additional money we want if we do decide to splurge on a crab, following the same steps. And then ultimately, assuming we do go through and play Crabada and have a great time and make all this cash, the cash we'll be earning is going to be in either Crabada or TUS tokens, which is Crabada's other kind of play to earn token. I don't see it on here, so let's just do Crabada. In order to actually make my money, we'll need to reverse these steps. We're going to turn Crabada back into Avalanche at the swap shop, which will put more Avalanche back in our wallet, which we can then send. And your central exchange account does have an address as well. The same place we used withdraw as an option before to give it your MetaMask address. We'll use deposit and give your MetaMask the address to deposit Avalanche into your central exchange account. So this will let us to back up whatever money we had, and you do also have the option from there to withdraw back to your bank account to ultimately turn this all back into fiat money. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please go ahead and give me a like or follow. I do plan to do some similar videos for some different games and other ecosystems that I'm interested in, but these same basic steps will work for more or less any kind of play to earn project. These are the simple steps to be able to get involved and spend some cash on it. Thank you so much.